Disclaimer before I get into the information. I recommend working with a physician. If you think you have scoliosis or if you've been diagnosed with scoliosis before, you need to know the grade of the scoliosis, so how bad it is, but you also need to know which way the curves are going. So I have, this demonstration tonight that is pretty sought out, but your curve may be going the opposite way. So if you do some of these exercises and things that I show you tonight and your curve is the opposite of what you think it is, you could actually make things worse. So make sure you get an accurate diagnosis. Make sure you know exactly which way these curves are going, because that's going to better serve you. Okay? So what is scoliosis? I have it shown out here in this diagram, but I thought I'd actually run through it with you. So this person is facing the camera just like me right now. So you're looking at their smiling face like you're looking at mine. Basically what you want to see when you're looking at somebody head on like this, you want to see the spine nice and straight. Okay? So here's my guy. You want the spine nice and straight like this. Now if you're looking at the skeleton from the side, you actually want to see curves. Kind of make some curves. Curves are normal, you want those curves. So if you're looking at me from the side here, you want the spine to have curves. That's okay. But what we're talking about is scoliosis. So when the spine should be straight head on, and then it's not. You can see how this can be a problem. Okay? So that's what scoliosis is. Now with that being said, I always get, how does this occur? Because this isn't normal. In this demonstration, this looks pretty jacked up. So what can we do about this? Like, how does this occur in the first place? What's going on here? There's really two different kinds of scoliosis. So there's one where if you had some kind of major accident, maybe you fractured a vertebrae or one of the bones in your spine, your body will start to compensate and it will start to do weird things, and you can get the curves from that. That not a ton you can do about that. They may do surgery on it, they may not. I'm not even going to touch on that because that's not what I do as a chiropractor. Now the other kind, which is far, far more common, is a term called idiopathic scoliosis. So idiopathic is a fancy word in the medical field that basically means we don't know how it got here. So up until the last couple of years, it's very much been idiopathic, but there's a lot of great research coming out proving what chiropractors have known for the last 100 years. And that is, a lot of these idiopathic scoliosis cases actually stem from the hips and pelvis down here. I'm going to jot in really quick because I forgot to mention the camera's turned a certain way so that you can read this board. If you have any questions, comments, anything like that, please leave them. I will get back to you as soon as this video goes, as soon as it's done going live. I'll get back and I'll answer any questions or address any comments that you may have. But feel free to leave them. Feel free to like and share this material. Disclaimer there. So, as I was saying, a lot of the cause for these idiopathic scoliosis are due to the hips and pelvis down here being rotated, and the hips should be nice and even, and when they start to dip down like you're seeing right here, your body's going to start to compensate. So the best way I can show you is if your hip, let's say on this left side, starts to dip down and this right side pops up, instead of me leaning to the side like this at all times, your body always wants to keep you upright, okay? So instead of me leaning to the side like this, you can see how my body's going to start to form curves to keep me upright. And that's where a lot of these problems can set in with the scoliosis. Now I take it a step further than most other chiropractors that I know of. A lot of us, we only look at the hips and pelvis as a profession, but I could sit here and I can address this issue all day long, but if this isn't the main reason why these hips are dipping to the side like this, then I'm going to do it till I'm blue in the face and you're going to get little to okay results. More than likely, there's a 90% chance that you have one leg that is actually shorter than the other. Now I look for this, I address this, and I fix that leg length inequalities so that this can stay the way it's supposed to be. So what I mean by that is, there's a 90% chance that you have an anatomical or a physically shorter leg than the other one. So the bones in one leg are shorter than the bones in the other leg. This could be genetic, it could be due to an injury or surgery, something that changes the anatomy will change the leg lengths. So if I have, for instance, I'll use my own personal experience. I have 2 millimeter short leg on my left side, okay? So every single day I'm walking around with a 2 millimeter difference. It's going to throw things off, it's going to cause my hips to change, and it's going to cause compensation, and I might have a curve in my spine. Instead, we found that problem. We put a shim in my shoe, so when I'm walking around 90% of the time, I'm wearing shoes or something with that support, where I have that 2 millimeter support. Then I'm walking around on an even ground. It's going to help keep my pelvis and my hips level and not cocked to one side because my left leg is shorter and I'm dipping down. I hope that makes sense, but what we want to do, whether it's the hips and the pelvis here, that's the problem, or it's an actual short leg, we want to address that problem to get this hip upright and help take those compensatory curves out of there and help straighten that spine. So, long story short, that's how scoliosis occurs, or that's how most scoliosis occurs, okay? Now, what can I do to manage it? That's what everyone cares about, right? We know what scoliosis is. We know how it develops. How do I manage this myself? I really don't want to go see a doctor. You're not going to hurt my feelings. I understand. I'm the same way with a lot of things, okay? What I want to do is I want to give you some exercises, some stretches, some ways of thinking about this that you can do this stuff on your own at home. You can help manage the situation, help with pain or the problems that you're having if you have any kind of spinal pain. Once again, disclaimer if you're tuning in late, please work with a physician first. You need to know which way the curves are going, or curve, and then you need to know the degree. If it's a really bad degree, you can do this till you're blue in the face, but you probably need some extra help, okay? So don't try to guess on this work. For this scenario, what I've done here is I've shown this person facing it like this, the left side, and then the right side, okay? So on this scenario, you have the mid back here, the curve's going to this left side. Now, when you have a curve like this, you're also going to have rotation, and I'm talking about rotation of the vertebrae. So as this curves like this, the vertebrae are going to rotate the opposite direction than the curve, okay? It's just compensation. It's your body naturally doing that. There's nothing you can do about it, okay? So what you want to do, if the curve's going to the left, you want to strengthen that left side of the spine. So from the spine over, you want to strengthen these muscles. And from the spine to the right, you want to straighten this area, and you want to loosen up those muscles because they're working overtime to try and keep this thing from curving more in that direction, okay? So we need to loosen up these muscles, help straighten that out. We need to strengthen these muscles, help pull the spine back, and you can see that how that will kind of straighten things out up there. So the straighten exercise for this right side, I'll show you face first, and then you can see what's going on from behind. What you want to do, if the curve's going to my left, I want to straighten the muscles out on this side of my spine, so I'm going to bring my arm up, and I'm going to lean to that left side, okay? And you can just do 10 to 15 reps of this. So what's going on from behind is this side that I'm trying to straighten on my right, the spine's or if the curve's going to my left here, I'm trying to straighten that out here to the right, or to the left. I'm bending to the left, okay? Now on this left side of the spine here, I need to strengthen these muscles. What you can do, you can bring your arm across your chest as far as you can, arm across your chest as far as you can. And if you do this with me, or if you're watching the recording and you do this enough times, you'll start to feel it in the shoulder, and you'll start to feel it right in here. That's what I want, okay? So from the front, it looks like this. So you're going to strengthen those muscles on the left side, and then you can even combine the movements if you're lazy and you don't want to take more time. Bring it over like that. So that's going to help lengthen the one side, strengthen the other side. It's going to help straighten this out, okay? Down here at the hips and pelvis, it's really pretty easy. We need to get this, in this scenario, this right hip up to help, once again, balance these the hips and pelvis out to help straighten the spine. So what you can do with this right leg is, if you have a book or something, just put it up on that book, okay? That will help bring that hip up. Now we're going to do some exercises off of this, but that gets the hips and pelvis even and helps takes pressure off of that lower back area that's undergoing that curve, okay? So the side that's dipping down, side that the curve's facing, you want to put that leg up on a book or some kind of elevated prop so that your hips are more even, okay? With the opposite leg, so in this scenario, the left leg, you're going to bring that leg forward. I'm sorry you can't see my feet, but bring that leg forward so you have a staggered stance. You're not standing feet shoulder width apart and in the same plane. You want to stagger your stance, put that right foot up on something, that left leg forward, okay? That will help work on the rotation that's occurring down here as well. So by bringing this pelvis up down here on that book or whatever platform that you put your leg on, it's going to help to straighten and lengthen this side, okay? But how do we strengthen this right side to help bring that spine back to where it should be? Help bring this thing back up so that it's nice and straight, okay? Pretty easy. All you do, you're going to take this right leg in this scenario, take the right leg and just bring it back as far as you can, back as far as you can, back as far as you can. You can do it standing, you can do it laying face down on the ground, whatever you're on, the bed, doesn't matter. All you're doing is bringing your leg back as far as you can, back as far as you can. You don't need to bring that thing so high up that you're straining your back, but just do it so that you're working the muscles. So you should feel it in your butt area, but also up here in the low back. You're going to feel it right in here, okay? That's what we want. That's going to help strengthen that area. So depending on a degree, depending on how much pain you're in, you can always take this to another level. As you're doing these exercises and stretches I just showed you, you go, hey, what else can I do? How can I make it harder? So I want to give you a little bit of that too. Now, if you have an at-home gym or you have access to a gym, maybe you're a member at a gym, you can find these things pretty easily at a gym or at your at-home gym. More than likely you have these things already. So what you want to do, to straighten this right side, take a light dumbbell, always start light, and then you can always increase the weight as this gets easier and you're out of pain, or you're out of the pain that you were having at least. It's lessened, we'll put it that way. But take a dumbbell, you're going to put it in the right hand because we're trying to strengthen the side. So before you were just leaning like this, now put a weight in the hand, same thing. Punch towards the sky, you can dip to the side a little bit like that. That's going to help straighten that area out. Now, you need an at-home gym, or you need some kind of gym, or you need a TheraBand that you can tie in a door. But basically, get access to a TheraBand, whether it's from the gym or you went and bought one yourself. Tie it onto a door handle, tie it onto a squat rack at a gym, you name it. And what you're going to do with this other side that we're trying to strengthen, so this left side, so if I have it tied onto a door over here, I'm going to have the band, and then I'm going to act like I'm punching. Act like you're punching somebody. And once again, you can combine these movements if you want. You can punch and lift the dumbbell at the same time. You're helping to lengthen and straighten the one side with the weight, and then you're helping to strengthen the muscle on the other side, which will help bring this thing back up to where it's supposed to be. Down here, once again, as long as you're putting that leg up on something, that's going to help bring that hip up, which is going to help straighten that other side. If you want to strengthen these muscles more, same thing. Get a TheraBand, tie it onto a rack or some kind of object that's not going to move. Tie it around your ankle. In this scenario, we're talking the right side, so tie it around the right ankle, and then you're going to want to face the other way. And then you're going to pull it back as far as you can. Pull it back as far as you can with that resistance from the band. You're going to get more of a workout in those areas. Okay, or if you're laying face down and you have weight that you can put on your ankle, you can do that as well. I know some people have those things for wrists and other things when you're running, but that will help strengthen that lower back area too. So can't stress it enough. Work with a physician who can find out the grade and which way the curves are going, and then can work on straightening everything out and helping to straighten the spine out. The exercises, stretches, everything I just gave you right now is a way that you can participate in your health. You can help to get yourself better quicker and feel better quicker, and not just rely on a doctor. But always try and manage this with somebody, because you don't know unless it's bad, you don't know necessarily which way the curve's going and to what degree and what your options are. So work with somebody on this, but these are definitely some concepts that you can take if you know which way the curve or curves are going. These are some concepts that you can take, some exercises that you can start doing. And I've done it with patients before with a lot of success. So start doing this stuff right away.